Once upon a time, in the heart of a bustling city, there was a small, curious kitten named Whiskers. Whiskers lived with his loving family in a snug and warm house, complete with a soft, fluffy bed just for him. But more than his comfy bed, Whiskers loved to play and explore, and his favorite place to do that was the blooming garden outside his home. One sunny morning, while his family was out, Whiskers saw a butterfly flitting about in the garden. Its wings shimmered in the sunlight, creating an irresistible rainbow of colors. Intrigued, Whiskers decided to chase after it, playfully bouncing and pouncing around the garden. As the butterfly fluttered further and further away, Whiskers became so engrossed in his chase that he didn't notice he was moving farther from his home. It flew over fences, through alleyways, and finally, it fluttered out of sight near a bustling marketplace. When Whiskers finally stopped, he looked around and realized he didn't recognize where he was. He saw towering buildings, heard strange noises, and smelled unfamiliar scents. Panic set in, and the brave little kitten was frightened. He had lost his way and couldn't find his home. Despite his fear, Whiskers knew he had to be brave. He remembered his family's warm smiles and his cozy bed. So he mustered up all his courage and decided to find his way back home. First, he tried to follow his paw prints, but the city's hustle and bustle had already swept them away. Then he tried to recall the path the butterfly took, but it had zigzagged so much that Whiskers couldn't remember. Just as Whiskers started to feel really scared, he spotted a group of pigeons pecking at breadcrumbs. Birds, he thought. Birds have an excellent view from the sky. Maybe they can help me find my home. So Whiskers scampered over to the pigeons and explained his situation. The pigeons, although initially frightened of the kitten, saw his tear-filled eyes and decided to help. They flapped their wings and flew high up into the sky, promising to find his house. While waiting, Whiskers thought about his home and his family, hoping they weren't too worried. He thought about his garden and all his favorite places to nap. Each memory made him even more determined to find his way back. After what felt like a lifetime, the pigeons returned. They happily reported they had found a garden matching Whiskers' description. With their guidance, Whiskers started his journey back, feeling hopeful. The path was filled with challenges. Whiskers had to dodge big feet, scary dogs, and loud cars. But with each step, he was getting closer and closer to his home. His heart swelled with anticipation. Finally, Whiskers saw a familiar sight. His eyes widened with excitement as he recognized his blooming garden and the soft, warm bed inside the house. His heart leaped with joy, and he ran the last few steps, meowing loudly to announce his return. His family, who had been worried sick, rushed out when they heard him. They scooped him up, showering him with love and kisses. Whiskers purred loudly, his heart content. That night, as Whiskers snuggled in his soft bed, he realized he had learned an important lesson. No matter how enticing the butterflies were, he should always be mindful of his surroundings. For home was where he truly belonged, and his family was his real adventure.